All right, so this is the 1961 Gibson ES-355 T. This is a mono 355, one of the far less common mono examples. The 355 was offered in both mono and stereo starting in '59. Most of them ended up being stereo because this was the top of the line and people wanted that fancy new technology. The Stereo Varitone guitars end up being out of phase in the middle position and have the baritone. So they're a little less popular than these monos, which is essentially a 335 with fancier appointments. So anyway, I was really excited to get this guitar. We bought it from the family of its second owner, we believe, and he had it for over 40 years or so. He passed away recently and they were ready to sell. So I was excited to pick it up. And it just had so many cool things about it that I was excited to share with you guys. First of all, this Bigsby is a modification. This would have originally had a side pull vibrato, and some of those suffer from tuning stability issues, and so it's likely that he just wanted a Bigsby instead. So they installed this Bigsby. They have not mounted it to the top. So if you want to take it off and put something else on there, you're welcome to do it. There probably won't be any evidence. I've looked underneath here, and it's no shadow or holes in the top, and there's felt underneath the Bigsby. So it's a really stable vibrato. It felt great to play. I don't think you'd want to change it to something else, but if you felt like you needed to, you've got that option without any kind of big shadow. And then on the back of the neck here, this has a very typical crack that we find during this time period in 1961 and 62. Because this is the year that Gibson slimmed the neck all the way down to 80 hundredths of an inch, down from 90 in '58, 94 or 5 in '59, and then all the way down to 80 in 1960. So by '61, these were some of the slimmest necks that Gibson had been doing, but the truss rod channel was still kind of deep in the neck. And so there's not that much meat between the rod and the back of the neck. So oftentimes they'll develop kind of a little hairline there. It's totally stable. You can do anything you want with the truss rod, and this crack is not going to flex or anything like that. It's really just aesthetic, and you can feel it if you rub your finger across it. It's totally different than like a headstock repair, which is a very structural issue that needs to be resolved. This one, you can glue it if you want, but it's not going to be any different. It's just because there's not much meat there is why. But it had a surprise on this guitar that I did not expect when I bought it, and that is that the neck pickup is kind of non-standard looking for Gibson in 1961. You know, this would have normally had two PAF pickups with Phillips head screws, but this neck pickup had slot screws and no PAF sticker. And I remember I actually had a late 1960 335 with the same feature. Slot screws, no sticker, and it was factory as well. I actually pulled out the wiring harness to clean it and inspected all the solder joints. All the dates are late 1959. It's got bumblebee caps, so this is a '59 harness. And then the other thing that was really surprising is when we were kind of sound checking before playing this one, I noticed that the middle position is canceling out hum in a way that the neck and the bridge position don't. So that made me think it was reverse wound, reverse polarity. So I got out my polarity tester, magnetic polarity tester. If you want to pick one of these up on Amazon, it's like $6. I'll drop you a link in the description. But yeah, if you check the polarity, it is south to strings on both pickups. So I'm not really sure why it's canceling the hum. Something going on with the way Gibson wired it. All solder is factory. Both of these pickups are factory original. I don't think Gibson really cared what the pickups were going to look like, the back of them in 1961. They didn't expect us to be talking about it here in 2023. I think it originally had initials here. This would have been an option at the dealer where you could just put your initials on your guitar. And at some point in time, those initials, I guess, became less popular, and instead, a little Playboy bunny got put on there. And while it's not exactly what I'm going to put on my guitars, I'm also not one to erase, history of vintage guitars. So we've left it on there for now. If you want it removed, we can remove it with no evidence of it ever being there. So you let us know. But anyway, I called in my friend Browan Lollar, who's going to come in and play it for us. He plays with St. Paul and the Broken Bones, and I'm excited to hear how he makes this one sound. So that's the 1961 Gibson ES-355 T mono, rare mono version. Thanks so much, Browan, for coming in to play it for us. My name is John. My shop's called True Vintage Guitar. You can find me at truevintageguitar.com here in Birmingham, Alabama. And if you want to reach out and ask any questions about these, be happy to help. My contact information is at the bottom of the screen. Thanks for watching.